And you know how to join the conversation. It's on facebook.com/JoyNews on TV. On Twitter, it's at JoyNews on TV. And on WhatsApp, the number is 0244466606. 0244466606. Let's start with a pregnant woman who lost her life and that of her baby at the Suntreso Government Hospital in the Ashanti region because doctors delayed cesarean section. And according to the deceased husband, her doctor asked him to pay doctor motivation fee of 500 Ghana cedis. How does this come across to you as a Ghanaian?
It depends on the stage at which maybe the woman might be in labor. If it was at a critical stage, then I think that what the doctor could have done was to take care of the woman before maybe demanding for the consultation. Because if the woman was at a critical stage and at the verge of delivery, then it was very inappropriate of the doctor at that moment to have demanded for that consultation fee before attending to the patient.
The government should do something to support a pregnant woman so that when they go to hospital, at least they can get support from a hospital in order to prevent like the way she died. So, and the doctor too, I think the doctor was doing his job.
It's a problem. It's a problem for the nation. So they have to see to it. The doctor, they have to sit down with the doctor and put on a question to him.
So what do you think should be done to the doctor?
The doctor, they have to be questioned. They have to be questioned.
All right, those are some comments from the streets. Let's check out your comments on Facebook.
ACN Kwam says, sorry, but Ghana is a failed nation. Access to healthcare is so expensive. If this is happening in Kumasi, then guess what my uncles and aunties at takeover number 2 will go through to access necessity. So sad. By Jeremiah says, I was shocked when I read the news item, motivation fee for who? We are joking too much in this country. It is time individuals are sued for negligence of duties. What kind of system is this? Kwesi Boateng Ayepa says, until you are faced with reality, you will never understand the kind of ordeal people go through at various health facilities in the country before they get treatment. Are health workers. Nana Danso Abiam says, please, it's not true. He was the only doctor on duty, and there were other patients whose conditions were more critical than this woman. JoyNews, try and listen to the side of the doctor too. Well, the doctor hasn't spoken, but yes, that's information we're picking up, that indeed the doctor was attending to other patients. Joey Manson says, if this story is really true, then that doctor really has brought a curse on himself or herself. It's a pity. Ikuya Santua says, no life must be lost whilst giving life. My Ghana, my motherland, weeps. Joyce Ajwa says, the world is not fair to the poor. Strafilu Dramani says, this nonsense by doctors and nurses must stop.
And Kakra Courage 8. All right, so let's continue because Minister of Health, Kwekwajaman Menu, has also directed the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital not to entertain patients with non-critical conditions. Now, the directive follows an earlier one ordering public hospitals not to turn away patients, which resulted in congestion at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, forcing doctors to treat patients in plastic chairs and on the floor. Now, there are those who feel the directives are not what is needed at this critical moment, but actual resources. What's your take on this?
If the minister says we shouldn't go to Korle-Bu with headaches, it's in the right direction. But the issue of the congestion at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital can be sorted out easily because there are medical centers that has been built that are not in operation. Why won't this government put resources together and open these medical centers to ease the congestion at the Korle-Bu hospital?
In other sense, it's right, because when they are too populated, okay, they wouldn't be able to treat them well. They would just look at them and go back. In other sense, we are supposed to make sure we provide the hospitals with enough equipment, facilities, maybe beds, or improve the current situation of the hospital so that we can address certain issues like this.
Korle-Bu is the only referral center apart from Ridge and some few places in Accra here. So I think that government should set up more referral centers that can take care of medical emergencies.
All right, those are some worrying comments from the streets. Let's check out your messages on Facebook.
So on Facebook, we have a cancer says the case is a bad issue. Mr. Minister, we don't admit patients with headache. It's only serious cases we admit at the hospitals. So stop bringing that point to solve the inadequate bed issue. Raymond says, so now patients should diagnose themselves, determine the severity of their sickness, and determine which hospital to go. Abi, man, you need an Oscar. All right, so what the health minister is saying that typically when you're unwell, you don't just go to Korle-Bu, the Korle-Bu teaching hospital.
You should go to probably the Korle-Bu polyclinic and all that. But of course, and I tend to agree with one of them who says that, I mean, they don't admit people who have minor sicknesses. And so, yes, how do you know that my sickness is severe or not? Do I determine that myself as a patient? And even when you go to Korle-Bu, will Korle-Bu admit you when they know your issue is not complicated? No. So, of course, we need resources, not these kind of directives.
But you don't go straight to Korle-Bu. That's the point they're making.
Definitely.
You can go to the
even if you go to polyclinic and the issue is severe, they may refer you to Korle-Bu. So it goes back to square one.
All right. So Enoch Lawe says institutions must strictly serve their purposes, but first equip the other hospitals adequately. We abuse rights and privileges too much. Ikuya Santua says, if the visual shown by JoyNews is anything to go by, then we need a serious health education as a nation. We really need to take good care of our health.
And James Abusanga says, with the high cost of lorry fare coupled with the inability of the NHIS to settle bills of headaches and stomach pains, I disagree with the minister's directive. Wallace J says, that man, wow, that's a bit too harsh. And Koham says, okay, and Boache, right. And Larry Francis comes in to say, exactly, I agree. And Dixon Kakra Courage says, seriously, I thought, I realized it's the president should. All right, those are a bit, some harsh comments there coming on Facebook. And finally, it's the dream of most young people to marry someday and settle down. But the opposite can happen if both partners don't learn to tolerate each other and manage misunderstandings, which is inevitable. So ahead of the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair, we want you to share with us how you manage petty quarrels in your marriage or relationship.
Whatever you do, argument will come. So first of all, identification of who you are and who your partner is, and then the temperament level. Okay, if you know these things, okay, when the arguments are coming, you first of all know. And trust me, no matter what you do, sometimes one or two will come. But the issue is that always have a control over your anger.
One party keeps mute, like you go quiet, and then allow the other party to talk, air the mind, whatever he or she want to say, allow the person to say it. So maybe the following day or midnight, then you call the person. Then both of you have cooled down, because when he's talking, you are talking, who is going to listen to each other? So you wait, midnight or the following day, tempers are cooled down. Then you tell him that this is what you did. Then you are in a good mind frame to really discuss the problem and get to the roots and solve the problem.
With me, everybody has his own lifestyle. If I'm going to argue with my partner and I got to realize that it's getting hot, the best I can do is to just move away from where we are having the argument. If it's in the room, I'll move outside. If it's outside, I come inside.
So if it's in the room, he'll move outside. If it's outside, he'll come inside. How do you manage your petty quarrels?
You talk about them. And resolve.
At the time that tempers are hot.
No. Sometimes, I mean, there's a cold war, so you have to, yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it's inevitable. It happens in every relationship, in every marriage. Sure, you have that.
Right.
But I tend to keep mute when it happens. I allow you to boil and boil and boil. When you calm down, then I come to you and explain. And even if I may be right, but at the point I realize you're boiling, I could just
high,
say sorry.
You can get through.
Just to calm you down. Okay. Then later I can also start boiling.
That's a very wise woman, actually.
All right, let's check
Lochu says one person should always be the fool at the moment of the argument by being quiet and accepting everything as his or her fault. But do not forget to sing the correct song to your partner when all is calm. Always remember never to sleep without settling your differences. By Jeremiah says respect each other's view and not always inviting third parties into your issues, but always trying to resolve them yourselves. Asempa Thelma says learn to say sorry, forgive, and to be humble, respectful, supportive, submissive, and understanding wife. Why are you suggesting it's the wife? Because you're also supposed to be talking about the man. Ajwa Opongwa says you sometimes have to act like a fool, and again learn to ignore certain things. Derry Julio says be quiet at the heated moment. Kwesi Boateng says my solution to a problem will not work for another person in the same situation. Just understand your partner and play to the gallery. And
exactly the message someone sent on WhatsApp, Yakubu from Kumasi says, know your partner and what she doesn't like and develop an antidote for her. And this one from No Name, he says, okay, so I'm sure he's talking about the health issue. I think we've moved on. And then this one says, I will just keep mute and sleep. That is if she will allow you to sleep. And this one says, it's always normal. It helps strengthen the marriage. And this coming from Jonas. This one says, please, okay, that's a different matter. And he says, my name is... Oh, I don't think I'm getting your message. Let me take this last one from Mulumba. He says it's always about understanding. Always remain calm and understand your partner. All right, that's how we end the interactive segment. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Have a great one.